need some theme music. Like I really feel like I'm upset that I don't have theme music. At least I have the little intro that's not even mine. I'm gonna give me some intro music, but I really feel like I should have theme music. Anyway, I'm back. I'm back. I'm bickety 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 back. I'm so excited to be back. I love y'all. I missed y'all, but the break was needed, baby. Sister girl was wearing down. And for me to come out of my self care series and be worn down, that didn't make any sense to me. So I took my advice and did some self care. And one of the biggest pieces of my self care was I took a break. So I am grateful to take the break. I really didn't realize how much I needed it, like, really, really needed it to recharge and reset. And if you know anything, I've done a lot in this break, but still just to have that little bit of break. But I missed you guys. I really did. I'm really excited. I'm like, whoa, I'm back on today. And so I'm so glad that you guys are here, rocking with me. I'm just so grateful that you guys logged on after so long. Like I'm like, did they forget about me? Did they know I'm still here? So I'm just so grateful to be back. I wanted to start a series today, but I just did want to do a check-in real quick. Hey, Auntie Cynthia, love you. Hey, Mom. Oh, superstar. See, my family, so they love me. They so love me. I appreciate them. They don't have to love you, so I'm always grateful. Um, yes, I just want to do a check-in. First of all, how are you guys doing? Like, um, listen, I just shared on my page. You guys share. Um, I want to check in with you guys and make sure you're okay. I feel like I have like abandoned my post, and I want you to know that like I still care how you feel. I still care if you're showing up for yourself. I still care if you're dealing and talking about the necessary conversations and practicing some of that self-care we talked about. That's so necessary. So I'm hoping that you guys have been doing that. Let me know in the comments what you have been doing in the last month um, that has been contributing to your total mental health, because that's what's really important. I'm going to share with you some of the stuff that's been going on with me and just kind of tell you some of the topics that came up, because like I tell people, mental health is not a event. It is the health of your mind and your thoughts. And literally, this is 24/7, 7 day a week, 52 weeks a year, 365 days in a year situation. You will always encounter something every single day that engages your mental health. Just the same way when I walk, I use my legs. That's part of my physical health. Do you get what I'm saying? When you wake up breathing, your heart has to beat and pump the blood. That's part of your physical health. It's all a system. It's all systems that we have. So all of this stuff works. It's not something you turn off. You don't turn your heart off. It's always working. You don't turn your mind off. It's always working. Even when you sleep, your mind is working. So I take it very seriously. And if you think hard enough about it, you have something that you can talk about every single day when it comes to mental health. So I've just been kind of keeping up with things and trying to make sure that I am, number one, taking my own advice. Because sometimes when you're in a thing, you think, oh, I have this under control. And one thing that I will say that I is a reminder, and I'm so grateful for, is that we will never all have it 100%. But the goal is to be more aware in every area that we can be, more self-aware, and be more intentional, and engage with the process. That's the whole point of all of this. So I'm going to share a few things that's been going on with me, and hopefully you guys can draw some inspiration from it. Okay. So if you guys know, I think my last broadcast, I think it was July 27th, I believe. So for you guys that didn't know, well, my birthday was August 8th, and I turned 40. Yay. Yay me. Yes, I did. I know you can't even believe it, right? I'm blessed, and so I'm just so grateful to see another year. And I tell people it's much more than just a birthday for me. It is definitely a the culmination of where I'm at in my life right now, and I'm just grateful to be able to have these life lessons and be able to, really grow and see the growth, right? It's so cool. You always think that you're growing, but like I tell people like, oh yeah, you grow with age and you mature with age. And I don't believe that's true. I'm sorry. I used to believe it's true. I don't believe that you mature just because you have age. I don't think just because you've lived life, I hear people say, some people say, oh, live life long enough. I totally understand that, but I also don't believe that you gain wisdom or you mature just because you've aged. I just don't believe that. So time doesn't just do it. I believe it takes other things too. Hey, Crystal Boo, you did make it. I know with your work schedule and the kids is so hectic. I appreciate you made it. Yay. Girl, I'm just going over my first day back. So I'm just kind of recapping some stuff. And some of the lessons I've learned in the last month. Um, but so, one of the things is, making sure that you take life's experiences. That's it, that you learn from the experiences. Crystal, you're right on the head. I love how you jump right in. You're right on the head. That you learn from life's experiences and that you are not just going with the flow. Like I hate when people say that I'm just going with the flow. I'm just going through the motions. It takes way more of than that to actually, I call it graduate to the next level, right? Or you know how the Sierra song was level up, level up, level up. That's my dance. Y'all see that? Okay. Uh, you know, the idea is that you take something from what you are going through and understand what you needed from that season to allow you to push to the next season. It's something you're going to need. And so the idea that just with age you mature, that's not true, because there's a lot of people that's cycling. You hear people talk about they stuck in the cycles. Yeah, they're just going round and round, same situation, maybe different people, maybe different timing, maybe slightly different situations, but the same overall thing. Um, and they're stuck. And they're stuck because they did not learn from it, and they just end up being in this cycle. And so um one of the things that I've been so grateful to be is very reflective. Like when things seem like they're just super hard or super, what's the word I want to use? Complicated and complex. I'm human, right? So we have emotions. Like I told you, you can't be scared of those emotions. You actually have to embrace them, right? That's part of our emotional health. It's part of our emotional intelligence. And like I told y'all, I've been in a season of vulnerability. So it's hard because sometimes you go into what I call survival mode, right? You're like, well, I need to be tough. I need to be mentally tough to get through this. And you go back into what it takes to survive the moment. Um, and I'm grateful there's been some moments where I have pushed through, but then there have been some moments when I come back and I say, you know what? I don't have to be tough. There's been some times I just broke down and cried. And I'm like, this is a lot. This is hard. This is not fair. This is not okay. I'm not okay. And it was such freedom in that. It was such freedom that I gave myself the grace to not be okay. Right? You know that song, I'm not your superwoman. Do, 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 do. Okay, I can't sing. But my point is that y'all know the song. That was my jam. I didn't even know what she was talking about because I was too young. But the point is, I get it. I don't want to be superwoman. I'm not. I am Paris. I'm a person that I strive to achieve excellence, but not perfection. And I cry just like you do. I bleed just like you do. I'm not a super person. I am allowed a day to not be 100%. And actually, not only am I allowed it, I need it, and it's very healthy. I worry about people that feel the constant need to always be positive all the day, all the time. You know why? Because I used to be her. I thought that to be a positive person, you always had to be positive. You had to always, when somebody asked you how you were, I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm great. I'm so blessed. I'm good. My child is great. I'm breathing. I'm wonderful. And I feel that way a lot of the times. But when I don't feel that way, I don't feel the pressure to fake it. I know some people are like, well, fake it till you make it. You manifest through your words. I understand all of that. But I also do believe that we have to be super careful to not force a perception of a feeling and not really be in the feeling. I feel like it's too many people that have a facade of being okay because it seems like it's what people want to hear and they feel like they need to do that and they're not really okay. So we have a bunch of people that's wounded, heartbroken, broken, traumatized, tortured with their life, and they're not feeling capable enough to be honest about, I'm just not doing okay right now. And can you pray for me? Or, do you have any, whatever, however, can I just talk? Can I just, whatever it is. I don't feel like people feel safe enough to say those things. And so I feel like, I really tapped into a busy season. Like, it's my birthday. I threw myself a birthday party, and it was not just about this extravagant party. I need you to understand that was part of my self-care. I did not in that moment want to wait for anybody to throw me anything. And I mean, that might sound selfish to you, but to me, it was, I am enough. I talk about being enough. If I want a party that's fancy, I'm going to throw myself a party and I'm going to invite the people I care and love about. If you want to come party with me, so be it. But if not, I'm still having this party because in my mind, I've pushed through some things. I've achieved some things. And even if I didn't do any of those things, I deserve just to celebrate me, right? Like sometimes I feel like we feel guilty for celebrating ourselves, especially if you are a caretaker, you take care of other people, or you have kids, or you have siblings and family, or whatever the situation is. Sometimes you just don't feel that you have that like leeway to do that. And I think I always would make sure I did certain things. I would take trips and things, but to really have a party sitting around me, I never done that to that extent. And so I decided I wanted to do it and I did it. And to me, that was another thing that I could put into my list, that I didn't need permission to go all out for me. You know what I'm saying? Now, whatever that looks like to you. For me, it was a party. Maybe for you, it's to buy that pair of shoes, that really expensive pair of shoes. Maybe for you, it's to take a trip that you really just, never took before. Whatever that is for you, that was a piece of me giving myself permission to celebrate me. Okay. So that was a piece of my self-care. That was a piece of my mental health. I mean, really, it really was like I feel like I crossed over and I realized that there doesn't have to be, I mean, yeah, it was my 40th birthday, but it could have been my 32nd birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need permission to celebrate me. And so that was something that was really a big thing for me. Like, it was huge. Like, I was uncomfortable at first, right? Because I have these people coming to an event for me and I'm crafting it. And I had an event planner, because normally I do my own things. And my event planner was amazing. She just really made me feel like a queen. And if you need her information, I have it. It's even posted on my page back somewhere, but I'm going to post another post about it. I just been on the run. But just the idea of being pampered for a day. Like, I did not have to set everything up and take everything down. Like, that might seem small to you, but when that's what you always do, just to have that is just so, it does something to you. It makes you understand that, like, wow, okay, I can be tended to, like, so the birthday party happened. And then couple days after the birthday party, we took my son down to school. If you didn't know, my son is 18 and just graduated from high school, and that's been so much. And he went on to Morehouse, and so we took him down to Morehouse, me, my mom, and dad, and we went for their NSO, their new student orientation, and they have these really traditional services that they do. That was beautiful, and I'm telling you, that moment taking him down there was bittersweet. And I mean, leading all the way up to it, getting him ready, getting him packed up here, making sure he had the things that he needed. It was not a small feat, but that wasn't even the biggest thing. The thing was me preparing to be an empty nester. Like, that's a whole new thing for me. I mean, me and my son have never been apart for more than 10 days ever. Not never. I didn't send him away for no shade to anybody that does. Not send him away for the summer. I mean, I didn't have that option. Not sure if I would have if I did, but it don't even matter. The point is me and him just never been apart. And so I instantly became an empty nester. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I'm telling you, if I wasn't very intentional about making sure I was honest about my feelings, if I didn't have the friends and the circles I did that checked on me to make sure I was okay, facilitated it, the family that I had that made sure I was okay, if I didn't have God to really just um, set my mind at ease. I know some people really, really go through it. And I feel like even though it was hard to say goodbye to him, it was hard to leave him there, get a one-way ticket for him. Learning to live here in this house without him is even difficult, but I'm making it through, right? And it's just another transition in life that I just didn't even realize would be a transition for me, right? Because I'm busy, right? I'm busy, busy. But when things all calm down and you have to sit down and look at where you're at, that's when you start to realize like what's really important. So the great thing is Micaiah's doing well. I do talk to him regularly. And it's just, I'm blessed and I'm still covering him. He's doing well and I'm doing well. So that's good. But I'm learning that again, it doesn't like it's okay to be happy for him and also be sad he's not here in the same sentence. It's not mutually exclusive. And I didn't understand that before. Growth, right? I didn't understand that. You can be happy somebody's new life experience, but also be sad that you don't have the proximity that you used to have to them. That'll preach, y'all. See, I be to write stuff like this down. Like it is okay. So like sometimes people get this idea, oh, they're leaving me. My son didn't leave me. He left to an opportunity. He didn't leave me. And I had to understand that and not ever make him feel bad because he needed to do what he needed to do. And always making sure that he feels supported, loved, and knows that I'm here for him whenever he needs it. And even that, I have and I'm grateful that I built a life outside of my son that was just not circled around him so that now that he's off doing what he's doing, I still am okay because my life is still moving and existing. Doesn't mean that he's out of it. He's still very much a part of it, but it just doesn't mean that I collapse because he's not here. Parents hear that because that's a really important note is to make sure that you, if you haven't done so already, that you also remain who you are as an individual. It's good to give yourself to your children. Hey, Tori. Hey, beautiful. Oh, it's good to see you. You hopped on. I'm so honored. Yeah, I just came back. I haven't been back on in a while, and I'm just talking about my experiences and how I realized and related to the mental health stuff, and just talking about my son leaving and how I'm grateful that, I built a life so that I'm not clinging on to his. I'm not making him feel that he has to fill me up. He doesn't have to make me feel good because I'm already gonna work on me. I'm working on me. I'm already walking in my purpose. I'm already living life out. So I want him to go live life. That's the goal. We're supposed to prepare our children so they can go and live their life and so that they are pursuing their purpose and they feel inspired to do it because they see you doing it yourself, right? That's the biggest flex you can have as a parent. My child is out living their purpose filled life because they see me living my purpose filled life. And so that we can feed off each other. So, that has just been a journey. And I'm so grateful that God has really kind of graced us through it, right? I don't take any credit for that, right? I tell everybody when I had my son, I didn't know what I was doing. So I gave him to God. And when you give him to God, you literally just say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Help me. Help me. And that he did. That he for sure did through this whole journey. I keep getting congratulations. You must have did a great job because he's there and he's this. And I'm like, It's just God, and I'm just grateful. And one thing I will say is I definitely kept the lines of communication open, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much I don't want to hear him sometimes say certain things to me. I just always want him to feel like he could talk to me. I give him this idea that even if it's the worst thing in the world you think you want to say, that you think you've done or you want to do, just talk to me. I don't want you to ever be in a position in your life or place in your life where you feel like you're going to get in trouble because you tell me. And so you don't say anything and you're in a bad position. Um, that was important. And for him to use those lifelines, even when they're not necessarily lifelines, but just those moments where, hey, mom, let me tell you something, and me not to make him feel like the lower of low. I think that's just shows the strength of our relationship, and it's feeding me. Like while I'm living my life, he's living his life. It's like okay, that fact that he can talk to me, my son called and talked to me, y'all, not about what he needed money. He just called and talked to me. Like I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm trying not to get emotional. It was just nice. It was just nice. I didn't force him to. I didn't send him a message and threaten him to. He just called me and checked in and wanted to talk to me about what was going on in his life. And I was just like, that was good for me. It fed me. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that because those type of things make me mushy. But I'm just grateful. Let me change the subject. So my son, he's been great, and I've learned those life lessons about living life and being purpose filled. So as soon as I dropped him off, I don't know if you guys know, I went to Ghana, and so literally as I went to drop him off August 10th, and then I came back on the 14th, and literally that morning, and then literally that afternoon, I was on a plane to Ghana. Hey JC, I was on a plane in Ghana, and that was my another gift to myself because if anybody knows, I love to travel, and if anybody else knows, I love Africa, and anybody else knows, I've been trying to get to Ghana since before COVID. So I was so excited that I was able to book this trip. I'm trying to tell you, this is my God ordained trip. I literally got those tickets to Ghana, and it was only $536 round trip. Tell me where you gonna find a ticket for $536 round trip to Ghana. You're not. Go look for it now. You're not. When it's regular time, you won't find anything less than like 1,300, really. Maybe 900 something, but I got 536. That was just God. He was smiling on me. He said, "Go ahead, P. Get that ticket. Go do your thing." And so I was just so grateful. Tori, you said you had a friend who just left and went. She's gonna have an amazing, or she or he, they're gonna have an amazing, amazing time. Ghana was beautiful. It was. I'm just be honest with y'all. I really think I'm from Ghana. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care about the people that tell me I'm not from Africa. I don't care about anybody who wants to say anything different. I'm telling y'all about when I stepped off for that plane into Ghana, and when I was there, I felt at home. I just did. And so for me, she stayed for a month, Tori. Lord, choose me because that's gonna be me soon. I was only able to stay for a week. I am going back because I feel called there and I didn't get to see enough, but I just had an amazing time. I went like on 3 tours. I went to the waterfalls. I went to the botanical gardens. I went to all of the sites. I went to the castles. I went to Amina, Cape Coast. I had an amazing time. I ate some of the most amazing food. Was some at the most amazing beaches. The music, it's just the people. I just fell in love, and so I will be back. Trust me, I will be back. And if y'all know me, it's sooner than later. And if God is who I know Him to be, y'all gonna be laughing at me about how soon that was gonna be. But it was really good too because guess what I did when I was there? I did go see things, but I just enjoyed myself, and I didn't worry about anything. I just really spent time just enjoying, and it was really good for restoration. Sometimes we pour out, we pour out, we pour out, we pour out, and we don't get filled up enough. Don't get me wrong. I'm in Bible studies. I have my friends that pray with me. I read my Bible. I'm in church, all of those things. I have my loved ones around me, but sometimes, just sometimes, you're running all the time, running, running, running. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to sit down until I really got to Ghana because that's how my life has been lately. And so when I got there, I was able to just even in my going, I was relaxing. I know even like I had a driver, and at one point, I think he thought he kept waking me up to make sure I was okay because I was sleeping so well. I was sleeping so well in that car. And it's just because I was tired, but it was rest. And I'm talking about not just sleep, but it was rest. Y'all know the difference, like that rejuvenating rest. I was just grateful for it. Like I was just grateful. It was re-energizing. It was recharging. The sun, even on my skin, it was just I even felt like God was kissing me on the forehead, just saying, you needed this, didn't you? I said, I truly did. I truly did. So I literally had an amazing experience. Amazing. I met some amazing people. Y'all know how things go. Like they line up. I met people down there that I just going to be lifelong friends, I believe. And that, I was able to even volunteer down there. I met some pretty important people, but not for any other reasons besides I just call it divine connections. I believe that when you're in the right places, right spirits, you will meet who you're supposed to. You'll cross the path you're supposed to. And so I definitely did that. But most important, as far as for my mental health, I definitely just was able to clear my head, get some really much needed rest. Um, and um, and then when I came back, most of you guys know I was in a play, and I have been practicing. What you don't know is I've been practicing this play since October, I believe. And we were supposed to do it in May, but then it got pushed out because of COVID. And so we did it September. And I came back and literally next day rehearsals. And I think the week of the play, we had like 4 or 5 rehearsals. I mean, 4 or 5 hour rehearsals. Plus I had to start work. I started work the day back when I got back. So it has been nonstop for me. But I will say this, the thing that when I talk about mental health that's helped me out is realizing that you have to constantly put yourself first. It sounds selfish, but it's not. It's absolutely necessary. You have to get to a point where you can detect when you're not feeling right, when things are off kilter, off balance, when it's too much on you. You have to be your own advocate and be able to be in control of this thing and say, you know what, today is not, I'm not feeling okay. Or, you know what, I'm having a little bit more anxiety today than I normally do. Or something happened to me and I'm just not that feeling that positive about it. And assess those and explore those things, because oftentimes behind those feelings is some other emotion, and that you need to kind of dig out. Like not sometimes I think we feel emotions, we don't like them, we think they're negative, we're scared of them, and so we push them back down and we make them be repressed, and that's not what you want to do. You want to really dig it out and just allow it to happen in a controlled manner if possible. Like, if it don't, like, don't allow anger just to have its way. But if you are angry, be able to say, ooh, I'm upset, and let it out in some way, and then say, well, what's behind that emotion? Why am I so angry? What's really pushing me to feel the way I'm doing, that I feel? And what, is it something deeper? And is it the same type of things that get me mad every time? And that's the type of work that you can do to make sure you're growing constantly, to make sure you're evolving constantly, to make sure that you are introspective, to make sure that you are literally in a place where you're not just reacting, but you're responding. And the difference between reacting and responding is that there's intentionality with responding. It's like, okay, this is how I feel, but between my feelings and just acting on it and reacting to it, I now know what I feel. Let me process that and let me properly respond with the knowledge that I have. That's the difference between reacting and responding. And so, yeah, welcome for that definition, because I don't know if I gave that before, but that's really what it means, the difference between reacting and responding. And so just being very introspective, being very self-aware, and being able to kind of dig into those moments that are not the most comfortable moments. Like, if somebody walked past, you're like, oh, I can't believe that they doing that. And they really didn't do anything to you. Instead of you pushing past the moment or putting all the blame off on that person, really sit down and think, why does that bother me so much? Like, why is whatever that person is doing bother me? Because there's something deeper there. I guarantee you it is. People are like, well, now that person's just a hater. No, there's something else there. You need to know why, and you need to figure out what the trigger is. It could be something simple. Like I told you, I used to have a problem when people used to do too much for themselves. Like in my mind, I'm like, oh, look at them. They spend all this money on themselves. They always doing something, trying to show somebody. And I realized that was something with me. I'm like, why does that bother me? And I realized what it was actually a self-esteem issue, about me feeling like I was worthy to, do something special for myself outside of a special occasion, right? And so because I didn't feel worthy enough to do it, I felt like when other people did it, that they were um flexing, or they were being, I had to make something up to make them seem like they were selfish or they were self-centered. And I had to realize that had nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. But you see what it is? If you really sit down and sit with that uncomfortable feeling and thought you have, you can figure out really what the root is. And when you figure out what the root is, then you'll be like, okay, you know what? All right, now I can actually respond to that in a way that is constructive and not just react. Right. So I know it might seem like I'm going on and on, but I just wanted to give y'all some of the lessons I've learned in this last month of my life. What else have I learned? Always live your truth, no matter how messy, no matter how hard it is to push through a moment. Just live your truth, because guess what? You never know who's watching you. And that's not meant to make you feel bad. It's meant to say, even through the messy, people get inspiration. Someone said something the other day I thought was so cool. They said, if your life was perfect, your testimony wouldn't be that great. And I was just like, wow, I never thought about it like that. They was like, you wouldn't get a lot of people, like you came from, like there's like someone, I don't know how, this is not my words, I'm just gonna tell you. Someone was like, if you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you always had something, and then the story later is that you have a lot of money, that's not that big of a triumph, because they're like, oh, well, you had money and you kind of probably came from a family that had money, so you probably knew what to do with it. That's not that big of a flex, even though I'm still sure it takes things to maintain that. I'm sure things have happened. I'm just telling you what the story, the premise was. And it was like, versus the person that came from nothing, that was homeless, that, went through something and been in jail, and then they turned their life around, and they showed how they were able to climb to high heights and do some extraordinary things. If we learn to live our authentic, full lives, and not cut out the ugly pieces, or leave those out, or omit the ugly pieces, you never know who you can inspire, because the ugly pieces that you don't like are the things that let people know you're human. The ugly pieces that you think, I don't need to tell anybody that, is that thing that might keep that one person from, making it one more day, because they were like, oh, wow, she went through that too. Wow. And she came out like she is. That's encouraging me to hold on. Not to say that that's your responsibility to keep somebody holding on. I'm just saying that I wish I knew much sooner that me living a full, transparent life, me just being authentically me, and not always trying to hide the dirty, not so pleasant pieces, um, how it could help the next person. And if you're somebody who likes to help people, um, trust me, it can. So don't be ashamed of any parts of your story. Listen, all of your story is necessary. When you read a book, if you read a book, it was just happy, happy, joy, joy. Those are not always the ones that everybody wants to read. There has to be a plot. There has to be a dum 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 dum. The plot thickens, like that type of mystery, that type of it's the build up. Is what people like. And if you only tell your story with the wonderful parts, it's not as authentic, and people don't necessarily get blessed as much from it, or draw strength from it, or so yeah. So you know what, I don't really think I think that's what I really wanted to share. um I am starting a series on Thursday. I just wanted to come in and just kind of catch up with you guys. So anybody who hasn't been here, just to tell you what's going on with me, and also share the things that I've learned, just living life. I'm telling you, every single day, if you had a mental health journal, I'm telling you, you could write down something every single day about something you've learned about yourself, about the world, about your mind, about your emotions. It's not hard at all to connect with your mental self on a daily basis. So I definitely um really did rest up. I wasn't just sleeping the whole time, but I found time to do some things for myself, and it's time to get back to work, and I'm excited. I got some exciting things coming up, and you guys just let me know how you feeling. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Let me know if there's any resources you need. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about, right? Like I come up with topics, but if you ever say, "Hey, Paris, can you talk about this?" I'll make sure I go ahead and do that because at the end of the day, you guys are what matters. So, um, yeah. So, guess who's back? I'm here. Y'all check out my Morehouse shirt. Yes, I'm repping for the 99. See, that's how you know I'm a 90s baby because I just said for the 99. I didn't mean to say that. We ain't the 99. Y'all. Anyway. I'm repping for my baby, my young man. He's not my baby. He's still my baby, but he's not a baby. He's my young man. But I'm just so excited to be back, guys. I really did miss you all. And so I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit. Let's get into this stuff. So I got some good topics in my mind, and we're gonna work it on out. And um, get back into pulling some guests back in here to come talk with me and chat with me and have good old conversation about whatever it is we're talking about. So I'm excited. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. All right. And I will see you guys on Thursday at 6 p.m. And you know what I always say, Central Standard Time. You know what I always say? You are enough. You are enough to invest in yourself at all points. And whether that is to sit and listen to these conversations, whether it's for you to create a self-care routine, whether it is for you to get a therapist and start working on you, whether it's just you waking up and being more intentional about your day, you are worth that investment into yourself. And I believe in you. And I love you. So I want you guys to have an amazing day. And I'll rock with y'all on Thursday. And if you guys are just coming on for some reason while I'm jumping off, go ahead and watch the replay. And if you're watching the replay, let your girl know. I missed you guys though. I really do. I'm not just saying that. I really did miss you. So I'll chat with y'all later though. And like I said, we got a whole series for the month. Just wanted to come on and do a recap. Bye.